Yesterday, we did get news from the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, where it announced the suspension of the air operator certificate for Dana Airlines with immediate effect. And this was coming 48 hours after the incursion that was experienced on Tuesday by Dana Airlines upon landing in the domestic wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos from Abuja. And joining me now to shed light on this, shed light specifically on the suspension that we have seen happen and the state of the Nigeria's aviation sector is Olumide Ohunayo, who is an aviation analyst and General Secretary Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative. Thank you for joining us on Business Daily.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just start off, by, whetting the appetite of our viewers by wanting to know your view on the suspension, of the operation license for Dana by the NCAA. What is your position on this suspension?
Well, for me, I think the procedure was wrong, the hasty. And I think the suspension of the total operation of the airline is also unfair. But I think that was a knee-jerk reaction. First and foremost, if we look at the area of the interference here, for you to suspend an airline from operating it's a safety-related issue, and it falls under the purview of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority. And that which is supposed to be an autonomous organization headed by the DJ Civil Aviation, who does not report to anybody on safety. And but in this case, it was the Honorable Minister of Aviation that initiated the process and then directed the regulator to go ahead and suspend the airline on economic and safety audit issues. That process was wrong, and that would not give us good light in the international aviation space, because what we have done is to give the power and autonomy granted to the regulator to the executive arm of government, which does not have any role to play in the process of issuing AOC, and definitely cannot also suspend or withdraw any AOC when you are not part of the process of issuing it. That was wrong. Again, asking the whole fleet to be grounded was also not fair. I was expecting at best would have looked at the MD-82 series and ground that aircraft and any other MD-82 series on the fleet of Dana Airlines to see if there be any need to act or ground them or allow them to remain flying. But rather than do that, what I've asked that all the aircraft in the Dana fleet should go on ground, and that's a bit harsh for me.
Well, interesting perspective there. That was the voice of Olumide Ohunayo, who is an aviation analyst. But there is still more to come after the break, so do stay. And welcome back from that short time out. Before the break, we were speaking to issues around the recent suspension of the air operator certificate for Dana Air. And I still have my guest, who is an aviation analyst and the General Secretary Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative, Olumide Ohunayo. And moving on now, just before the break, you were speaking to the duplication of responsibilities by these different agencies of government. But I'd like for you to give us that clear-cut demarcation between the responsibilities of the NCAA, the responsibilities of the SIB, now that is the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, the responsibilities of the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Management. What are their separate responsibilities at this point?
Yeah, in all of this, the Ministry of Aviation is supposed to supervise all the agencies in the ministry, and also to initiate policies and deal with issue that has to do with partners and the international community. Then the NSIB, that's the investigating arm of the agency, will take care of investigating serious incidents and accidents in all modes of transport. In the past, it was known as AIB, exclusively for aviation, but today it has been further expanded to take care of all modes of transportation. Aviation being one of them, and they were on ground at the airport to see and then make their reports, take pictures, and then interview the operator, the crew, the air traffic controller, fan. All those are done by the NFIB, and we expect them to give us a preliminary report in 30 days. They've done it perfectly well by being on ground to do that. Same as NCAA, but for us, I think the only problem I see here is that the ministry initiating the suspension of the NCAA, of Dana Airlines, which should have come from the NCAA by virtue of its act, Section 4(3), that gives them exclusive power and not to be dictated to by any body or authority. That is why it's the regulator. That's why it's the one that drives the process. You see, and when it comes from the ministry, directing the NCA, making the letter public, publishing on Twitter even before the letter gets to the NCA, you are going to put panic into Nigerians. You are going to put panic into other aviation enthusiasts, and also that process it's a process that will be frowned at by account, because that's not the normal process that's accepted in safety-related issues. And when you scare passengers, when you make decisions believe you don't follow the proper procedure in safety issues, then it's going to affect investment, it's going to affect insurance, it's going to affect the cost of leasing aircraft, because all this will be put under corporate safety risk rating. And when you're put on that, then your cost will begin to rise based on little things that would have done that going public.
Okay, Mr. Olumide, let us look at the broader context and the broader picture now around aviation safety in Nigeria. At this point, what improvement or reform should be implemented, to enhance travel safety and airworthiness? I say this because we have seen, this airline incursion happen quite a lot lately. I believe during the month of November last year, we saw this happen with two different airlines. That at the time was Aero Contractors and some other Boeing airlines. But hearing from you, what reform should we be seeing happen right now within the Nigerian aviation sector?
Thank you for that. I'm happy you said it, that this is not the first aircraft excursion. This is about the fourth or fifth since the new government took over power. And I think there was one by one scheduled operator, which was ValueJet, and it happened in Port Harcourt, and that went, and the investigation is still ongoing. I think we need to be very careful when taking decisions. We need to ensure that we are fair to all. We don't make it look as if, yes, one airline can do it. It can happen to one airline. You go through the procedure, normal procedure, and it happens on another airline. Then you bring out the sledgehammer. Like you said, all these aircraft excursion issues happened when the aircraft were landing, not taking off. We're landing at respective airports. And if you look at the one that happened, the last one of Dana, it happened on a day when the runway was wet. So we are not sure whether there was water puddle that made it to skid, and on skidding they got to a hole and lost its nose wheel, or the nose wheel collapsed after landing. So all this can come out after an investigation. But before then, because this aircraft excursion has come up of late in almost about 4 or 5, about 3 airports, and about 5 times in the last 4-5 months, 5-6 months, we need to begin to look beyond just the airline alone, begin to look at the infrastructure, the runway integrity. What happens? Are the runway able to drain water away when it rains? Was there communication to the pilot that the runway was wet and need to proceed with caution? And what happened at night? Was the runway lighting and marking all in place and working perfectly at the time? These are the areas where we need to look beyond just punishing the airlines for runway excursion issues.
Okay, Mr. Olumide, you made a very valid point, and that is the fact that these airline excursion and overshoots problems have happened mostly when these airlines are landing. And I am curious, are there, different varying issues between airports and regions when these happen? And what are the major causes of these airline excursion issues?
Well, there are different reasons here that can be the reasons that can cause excursion. It might be the pilot error. It might be the aircraft itself. It might be the runway itself. It might be the information provided by the flight level and approach information provided to the pilot. It might be maybe the pilot was not able to, vision was poor due to that. So many reasons they cannot all have the same reason for this excursion, and that's why these investigations by the NSIB and submitting the report is very critical. But the idea of this investigation and submitting the report to make the report public is to avoid reoccurrence. Then we have had the issue of excursions of late in the Nigerian aviation industry, both for the private, for the scheduled operators and non-scheduled operators. So it shows there's a pattern, and luckily for us, neither has ended with any fatality, and neither have we have any serious injuries. But we need to look at this issue, not just the airline, look at other issues that I highlighted earlier, that are related and can cause this excursion. You see, we have just, like I said, it is when the aircraft are landing that we've had this issue. I'm going to take you to what happened in America earlier this year. Delta Airlines flight, Boeing 757, it was about taking off when the nose wheel, the front wheel, pulled out of the aircraft and down the runway. The aircraft did not take off again. It was very glaring that there was an issue with the mechanical aspect of that nose wheel. It was taking off. So that means something must have happened that was not noticed. But you see, now in what has happened here, that Dana flight had operated out of Lagos that morning to Abuja. He landed, he took off from Abuja and was returning to Lagos. So it was loose that and the engineers did not do their job. I just want to let me not assume, but let's wait for that investigation. It landed and it skidded out of the runway. Again, another report said it was on landing the wheels collapsed. Why did it collapse? Was it because of rust? Was it because of old age? Was it because it had gone past its cycle of usage? So many reasons can be argued, but let's wait for the outcome before we begin to prosecute. But I can tell you, the decision of the minister directing the Civil Aviation Authority was wrong, not proper, and what appropriate procedure to handle safety, and acting Dana Airlines to grant all its fleets rather than the MB82 series that had that incident was also a knee-jerk reaction that the Civil Aviation Authority should please go look to and make a review.
Well, indeed, like you've said, let us wait for the outcome of that investigation. But looking forward now, Mr. Olumide, what will the impact of, the suspension by the NCAA towards Dana Air be? Not just for the Nigerian Aviation Authority, but as the entire industry, even when it comes to investors' confidence outside of Nigeria and just basically the business environment in Nigeria. What will the impact of this act be moving forward?
Just like it happened when Emirates pulled out of the Nigerian international route and the first had to go up. With the absence of Dana, on those routes they operate to, capacity is now lowered, and then passengers will still have to fly, irrespective of what has happened to Dana. And here you see there will be more demand than seat supply. And when you have more demand for passengers to fly with lesser seats, automatically it affects the fares and fares goes up. So I expect a slight increase in fares on routes that Dana are very strong on. There will be a slight increase on the Lagos-Abuja route. There may be an astronomical increase on the Owerri and Port Harcourt, but they are also very strong on those two routes. So I expect some fare increase on those three routes where Dana has prepared and has shown some strength in operations and service. Again, outside Nigeria, the publicity given to it, the process, like I said, ICAO was wrong. ICAO is an international regulatory body with a lot of partners and tentacles. And when ICAO forms a process, you expect some of the partners to capitalize on that and use that to squeeze us for more money, increase the stakes, or discourage investors. So all these things should be what would have looked at before coming out on air to suspend Dana Airlines. The reason for suspending Dana Airlines as both safety and economic audit. It is not under the purview of the Ministry of Aviation. They don't conduct safety audit, they don't conduct economic audit. So if you don't conduct it, if you don't issue AOs, then you cannot suspend it. And we are not aware of any incident before that. Before the runway excursion, any serious incident that Dana was involved in to require immediate suspension of Dana.
Well said there. Have been speaking with Olumide Ohunayo, who is the General Secretary, Aviation Safety Roundtable Initiative. Obviously, is also an aviation analyst. Thank you very much for your insight on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, this is where we draw the curtains on today's episode of Business Daily that is coming to you live on Trust TV. For now, join the conversation on social media and let us hear your thoughts on the duplication of responsibilities, like my guest said, between the NCAA, the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Management, and all of these government agencies. And let us know what it is that you have to say regarding that. My name is Chiamaka Enendu. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.